Well, thank you all. I'll start with some very brief introductions on my side because I know we have both internal and external people joining this webinar. My name is Robert Blaget. I'm a director at MBC BioLabs, and we're the premier life science incubator in the Bay Area. Remarkably, companies on the MBC BioLabs platform have raised over $5 billion, and our companies have over 50 programs in the clinic today, making us virtually one of the largest biotechs in the world. We couldn't have achieved that without the partnerships with large pharma like ONO. And today we'll be kicking off their partnership with MBC BioLabs with a presentation and discussion about ONO. Many of you may know ONO from their work with Opdivo, but many of you may not as well. So we'd like to start today with a brief introduction from Takino-san, who is the head of R&D at ONO. Takino-san, would you mind just saying a few words about ONO?
Hi, thank you, Robert. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. I'm Toichi Takino, heading Discovery and Research at ONO Pharma. I really appreciate all of you for joining us today. ONO Pharma became one of the sponsors of MBC BioLabs last month, and we are very much happy to work closely with scientists and entrepreneurs with brilliant ideas. ONO has a long history of challenge and innovation, especially open innovation, exemplified by our first in the world launch of prostaglandin-related products, and another first in the world launch of anti-PD-1 antibody, Opdivo, in the market. In both cases, we could not have achieved such success without external collaborators. In other words, open innovation is very important lifeline for ONO. That's why we have been eager to connect with MBC BioLabs, one of the prestigious incubators in Bay Area, where unique and innovative ideas are always emerging. As a part of this community, we are pleased to support entrepreneurship. Today, my colleagues will explain our history, philosophy, and R&D strategy. I hope you enjoy today's webinar and get some nice fragrance from ONO. That's all from me, and thank you all. Have a fun.
Takino-san, thank you so much. We are honored that ONO has decided to partner with us as part of your strategic initiative to access external innovation. It's really only through these type of partnerships that we can offer the type of facilities that we can at MBC BioLabs. And it really creates a virtuous circle. Partners like you bring resources to help entrepreneurs get started, but then equally guidance and then ultimately are there to engage in partnership deals later down the road. And that's in part what we'd like to achieve with this kickoff today, is to help inform the entrepreneurs in our community and outside the types of initiatives that ONO has. So Takino-san, again, thank you so much, and thank you, ONO, for partnering with us. Yamamoto-san, would you show us maybe a few slides and tell us a bit about ONO and your history?
Yes, I will. So I hope everybody can see my slide.
Looks great.
Great. Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much for attending this ONO's webinar. Hi, everyone. I'm Hiroshi Yamamoto. I'm President and CEO of ONO Venture Investment, which is a CVC arm of ONO Pharmaceuticals. And I have another position that is a Senior Director of Discovery Research Alliance of ONO Pharmaceuticals, which department has a responsibility to make research collaborations with academia and biotech companies. And I think most of the audience are not familiar with ONO Pharmaceuticals, so that taking this opportunity, I would like to explain what ONO Pharma is and what ONO Venture Investment. We call it OVI, so what OVI is. And, and firstly, ONO Pharmaceutical. Our headquarters office is located at Osaka, Japan, and total revenue of last fiscal year was 2.7 billion US dollars. And ONO Pharma has been originally founded in 1717 as a Chinese herbal medicine wholesaler. And ONO Pharma is one of the oldest pharmaceutical companies with over 300 years history. And actually, so this old picture indicates that ONO's headquarters building at the time. So anyway, so although we have a long history, ONO had started modern pharmaceutical business in late 1940s. And as Takino-san mentioned, so our company, ONO, has been appreciated in this industry as a two big research milestone. One is a prostaglandin research, and another one is a immunocheckpoint inhibitor. Actually, we succeeded in launching prostaglandin-related product and anti-PD-1 antibody, so-called Opdivo, first in the world. And both these products has been generated by our nice collaboration with academia. So the open innovation, that is a very important approach for ONO's R&D activities. And as for Japanese domestic operation, we have full capability from discovery research to the commercialization in Japan. And the current total number of employees is over 3,600. And in terms of our global operation, ONO has currently 5 subsidiaries outside Japan. Also, we have own sales team in Taiwan and South Korea. We don't have had a marketing capability in US and Europe. Of course, these US and UK subsidiaries have capability of clinical development and licensing activities, but not yet marketing capability. But ONO is now seriously considering how we enter into the US market. So the ONO is now actively looking for the in-licensing opportunity, basically on the worldwide basis. And as for ONO Venture Investment, I'm going to touch on later. And yes, so this slide shows the our sales pie chart of our marketed product by therapeutic field. Almost half of the sales was coming from oncology field, which is a top-selling therapeutic field led by the sales of Opdivo, followed by diabetes, immunology, and other diseases. And please kindly note that this is our current situation of our marketed product. So for the therapeutic field, for our R&D focus, which will be discussed in the next panel discussion. And Yes, so this slide shows our experiences of our alliance, including in licensing and out licensing and strategic collaboration and discovery research collaboration. So you can understand that from these two slides that ONO has a very close relationship with not only big pharma, but also small biotech companies and Japanese pharma. So from these slides, so easily you can understand that ONO values this type of collaboration with companies very much. And so our development pipeline. And so today, due to the limited time, so I'm not able to give you the details. So, but I'm going to briefly touch on our portfolio. ONO has been actively conducting lots of clinical trials in oncology field. Yeah, actually, so many types of cancer and in the different treatment line and combination trials. So many trials are ongoing. And of course, so in primary care field, we have a development pipeline like this. And yes, so that is ONO Pharma. And then next, about the ONO Venture Investment, OVI. And yeah, as I said, ONO has been actively conducting collaboration with academia and the biotech companies. And also, in addition to those activities, ONO is doing philanthropic activities through ONO Pharma Foundation, which is supporting and contributing to the high reward, high risk, high reward type sciences. Which have we believe which have a potential to lead to the innovative treatment in the future. But anyway, ONO have not had so many access to startups so far because usually startups have a very good idea and excellent technology. But these are a little bit too early for partnering, especially for ONO. So that in order to increase our access to startups, ONO established OVI last May. And this is the structure, corporate structure. So OVI is a 100% owned US subsidiary of ONO Pharma. And OVI fully managed our fund, ONO Venture Investment Fund 1, for our investment activities as GP. And this is a summary of our fund. And so according to ONO's R&D focus, OVI just focused on human therapeutics. And OVI is investing in companies for strategic purpose, not financial. So that's why we hope that our investment activity will lead to the future partnering or acquisition opportunity for ONO Pharmaceuticals. And yeah, actually, right now, OVI is in the MBC BioLabs. Actually, Britain Avenue Labs, but our South San Francisco office will open very soon. And the fund size is 100 million US dollars, and fund term is not fixed because this is an evergreen type fund. And as our basic policy for our investment activities, OVI doesn't take lead position. And OVI doesn't take a board seat, but for our strategic purpose, OVI request company the board observer right as our minimum requirement for the investment. And investment stage. So over here is looking for the startups. So that investment stage is would be from seed to Series A, which means most likely discovery research stage to the prior IND submission. And check size, we think the typical check size would be 1 to 5 million a company as the initial investment. But of course, we can consider the follow-on investment along with the growth of our investing companies. And this is the summary of our fund. And this is investment forecast, which is completely same as those of ONO's R&D forecast, which will be explained in the next panel discussion. So that I'm going to finish my presentation, and I will leave it to the chair of the panel discussion. So Robert. So please start the panel discussion for discussing this therapeutic field.
Yamamoto-san, thank you so much for that overview. We'll certainly circle back to some of those topics. For the remainder of the time that we have, really what we wanted to do was engage in a fireside chat and dialogue with the panelists. If I could, I'd ask the panelists to introduce themselves. And what we'll do is, after they introduce themselves, I have a few questions that we've prepared in advance just to get the discussion going. But as you hear those initial questions, if questions come to mind, please put them in the chat, and then we'll ask the panelists. So if I could, I'll ask the panelists to introduce themselves. Tsukamoto-san, could you start for us?
Yes, thank you, Robert. So I've shared some slides. So, hi everyone. I'm Koki Tsukamoto, the Associate Director, Discovery Research Alliance, the Oncology Research Center. So I've been involved in I had been involved in the drug discovery for more than 10 years. After that, I moved to the current department. Now, our team is look for the new opportunity, the collaboration with academia and the industry. Currently, we are managed some large drug discovery alliances, especially oncology field. So I'll explain our oncology field, the strategy. So I'll leave it. So as the many people mentioned, the immune checkpoint inhibitor that change the cancer treatment dramatically. So under the IO combination and chemo-IO, the combination that showed a quite strong long-term benefit for the many patients. So, but still there's a lot of patients who not respond to these treatments. So that we believe that there's a high medical need there. So that we'd like to tackle this type of cancer. So these type of cancer have a different future. For example, tumor heterogeneity of the immune cells. That's the reason why the treatment is not respond well to these patients. So our internal activity that we are tackling this type of cancer by not only the immunotherapy, but also the targeting cancer intrinsic vulnerability or something. And the new modality is quite also important. For example, the cell therapy or virus, oncolytic virus or something. So this golden ticket, we really look for the more quite novel approach to tackling this type of cancer. And we're really looking forward to your opinion, idea on the technology. So yeah, thank you very much.
Tsukamoto-san, thank you. Matsushita-san, if you would mind introducing yourself.
So I'm Yuichiro Matsushita, Associate Director, Discovery Research Alliance in Research Center of Neurology in ONO. So I have more than 10 years experience in Drug Discovery Alliance in ONO. And before that, I was a researcher in research science in a research facility. we are exploring that great opportunity to collaborate with top scientists in the world and the biotech company. So in alliance manner, members of the Research Center of Neurology, we have more than 20 research collaboration with academia researchers in neurology field, and several potential discussions about the company at the moment. So I would like to explain our strategy of the Discovery Research Alliance of the neurology field. We focus in the neurodegeneration and the psychiatric disease and the pain. This might be a little bit broad, but these three area is closely related to each other. So therefore, we set these three research diseases. So in the perspective of the neuroinflammation, immune dysfunction, this is very important to modulate these type of disease. So and then we will set the disease modifiers perspective and the symptomatic therapeutic perspective to tackle these diseases. Drug discovery in the glial cells might be very important to modulate these three diseases, and the epigenetic transcriptonic modulation is now important field to for the drug target. So symptomatic therapy, ion channel transporter is a typical way to modulate these diseases. So we have two launched products in the market in the neurology field. One is the reverse touch Alzheimer's disease, on genesis for the Parkinson's disease. We have also three compounds in the clinical trial. These are related to the bioactive lipid and glial cells modulators. So we also said that these interest of the areas. So we look for that new finding in the neuroglial cells biology and the combination and the brain and the imaging genetics. That is very informative for us to find that new target for the drug discovery. And the important thing is the human-derived iPS cells and the human information. So therefore, we look for that these kind of the technologies. So important thing, neurology area to deliver is product and compound. So therefore, we will look for the delivering technology, and then even though the product small molecule, that is tough to deliver into the brain, but we look for this technology into the brain. That's our current strategy. Thank you very much.
Mashichita-san, thank you for that overview. I think there'll definitely be some questions in the chat stimulated by that. Welcome, Matsu-san. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Daisuke Wakamatsu. I'm Associate Director of Discovery Research Alliance in Specialty Research Center. I've been working for ONO for 20 years. And for the first 40 years, I was engaged in drug discovery as a biologist. And for the next 6 years, involved in alliance management, looking for collaboration opportunities. At the Specialty Research Center, our strategy is patient-centric and disease agnostic to fulfill unmet medical needs. We aim to create drugs that have a medical impact and clinical value for diseases. Our key therapeutic areas are renal diseases and musculoskeletal orthopedics, fibrosis, gastrointestinal, and rare diseases. And currently, we are focusing on shared pathophysiological mechanisms for across organ approaches. And we also interested in cellular senescence. We are very expecting this strategy to create innovative medicines for the treatment many kinds of diseases. And also, this is our areas of interest, age-related disorders to modulate cellular senescence. And in inflammation or immunology, we are looking for very effective new concept in non-responder patient population. and a replaceable new concept to the first-line treatment. For the fibrosis, we are looking for fibrolysis concept as a curative treatment and the tissue regeneration achieved by small molecules or biologics. Thank you.
Wakamatsu-san, thank you. If we get to it in the questions, it should be interesting. We have a number of companies here working on cellular senescence. I think finally, Tani-san, if you would do the last self-introduction.
Thank you, Robert. So, hello, everyone. My name is Kosuke Tani. I'm an Associate Director of Discovery Research Alliance in the Research Center of Immunology, and I have been working for ONO since 1993. I spent the first 20 years as medicinal chemist in the medicinal chemistry laboratories, then transferred to the current Research Alliance team in 2014 to seek collaborative opportunity in the early stage drug discovery. So I'm going to use one slide to explain our interest in the immunology field. So this slide shows our interest in the immunology research. In the field of immunology, we aim to develop drugs for the treatment of cancer, autoimmune diseases, and allergic diseases, focusing on regulation of acquired immunity and innate immunity pathways with biopharmaceutical as a basis. By making use of our long-standing experience in immunology research that helped us to create the anti-PD-1 antibody Opdivo. As exemplified by nivolumab and anti-PD-1 and a CD3 bispecific antibody ONO 4685, we aim to develop original therapeutic drugs that meet unmet medical needs in the field of cancer, autoimmune disease, and allergy by focusing on both activation of tumor immunity and immunosuppression as it converts with regulation of multi-specific molecules. ONO 4685 is, as I explained, under PD-1 and the CD3 bispecific antibody, and this activates PD-1 signal and is being developed for the autoimmune disease therapy. So, based on this strategy, we would like to seek collaborative opportunity with venture companies which has state-of-the-art biopharmaceutical technology, including regulation of multi-specific molecules, and companies which has attractive drug development programs in this field. Thank you for your attention.
Tani-san and all the panelists, thank you so much for introductions. Thank you for the overview of ONO Pharmaceutical. Now comes the fun part. Now we get to do the fireside chat and panel discussion. As I said, we've prepared a couple of questions in advance just to get things rolling, but it would be great to have questions from participants. As you can see, you've got a very distinguished group of people here from ONO that can answer everything from therapeutic areas of interest to modality to venture investment to partnering. So please use that as a resource. But I'll kick things off with a kind of a softball question, but it is pretty remarkable. So ONO was founded over 300 years ago. And to put that into some context, that's 60 years before the founding of the United States. And that's no small feat. I went to look to see how many companies are that old, and there's not that many. So the question to ONO is, what is it that makes ONO such an enduring enterprise?
So thanks, Robert. I'll take this question. So it's quite difficult to answer. So, but I think there are 2 points. One first point is that we focused on the core pharmaceutical activity and just create or find a new drug and deliver it to the patient. And we quite simply focus on this activity in the long history. That is one reason. So another reason that many people mentioned that we just focus using the open innovation approaches in the R&D, so that we spend a lot of money on the R&D, so that it's quite a high level in the pharmaceutical company, and especially we spend open innovation and collaboration with that money, so that people in the ONO that get used to the collaborate with others. So not to stick on our own idea, and we take another idea or technology into our activity. So that I believe that would be the reason why we have some success in the long history. So that's the point. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, not such an easy question, and not such an easy thing to do, to always look externally and always invest in innovation. I think it really is a hallmark of enduring companies to, even when times are good, look outside for inspiration and continue to invest in innovation. Yeah, thank you. So the next one is also sort of a general question, but why has ONO decided to focus strategically on oncology, immunology, and neurology?
Thank you very much for asking. So I'd like to explain our strategy about why we focus these three areas. Firstly, it is because of the unmet medical needs. Based on company philosophy, these three areas are inevitable to do the research activity. Second, thanks to the Optivo's success, we have deep knowledge and a broad network in these areas. Needless to say, oncology and immunology back and front for the disease pathology. So therefore, we set these two areas. And finally, in the neurology field, neuroimmunology research is now growing. As you know, TREM2 antibodies, CD33 antibodies, now attractive target. People in the world looking for such a opportunity. We are also looking for this neuroimmune modulation is important for our strategy. We would like to maximize our activity based on these three fields. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly being driven by unmet need is always a good strategic direction. As we touched on the very first question, though, it's important to always look for new opportunities. How does ONO evaluate white space opportunities outside of those strategic focus areas?
Thank you for your question. Let me answer. Firstly, we always try to understand the unmet medical needs through the meeting with doctors, healthcare professionals, and the patient groups by listening carefully and sincerely to the voices. Secondly, we value our compounds to maximize our compound potential for indication expansion and understanding the mechanism of our molecule intensively to find suitable indication. Based on these activities, we have created very innovative and unique products into the market, got approved world's first indications.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think of using indication expansion really early on in the development and thinking about the molecule and how else it might be used down the road. It makes a lot of sense in terms of being able to expand into new areas and new business opportunities. And I think, the last of the prepared questions here, and then we have a number of questions coming in. This, I think, is really relevant to the partnership and our kickoff discussion today. What programs does ONO have to engage in external innovation?
Thank you for asking. So I'm going to answer this question. So over the period from the 1960s to the 70s, ONO succeeded in commercializing natural prostaglandin and its derivatives, which were difficult to commercialize at that time, by making use of academic collaborators such as Corey and Bain and Bergstrom, who won the Nobel Prize. immune checkpoint molecule PD-1 was discovered through collaborative research with Honjo in Kyoto University, another Nobel Prize winner. And this discovery followed by further collaborative research between Kyoto University and ONO led to the creation of Opdivo by combining Medalic's antibody technology. I believe that the utilization of such external innovation will always be integrated with the growth of ONO as a pharmaceutical company and will continue to be so. As Hiroshi mentioned, we have launched some of the small molecule products in the past, but regarding other modalities, we only have limited in-house experiences so far, since number of the challenging drug target is increasing. So access to the external innovation is more and more important for ONO to fulfill unmet medical needs. In the field of immunology research, we have gained access to superior bispecific antibody technology from Miras and Newmap through our drug discovery collaboration so far. Other research centers are also making great effort to accessing external innovation. So then lastly, as illustrated by our history, access to external innovation will continue to be necessary and the key for ONO's drug discovery.
Tani-san, thank you. It's a real privilege for me to work at MBC BioLabs. I get to see the remarkable programs that these companies have, and I can promise you the next PD-1 is here. We just need to help you find it and help that company partner with ONO to drive that innovation forward. So thank you, and thanks to all of you for entertaining the prepared questions. It did what we hoped it would do. I've got a list of questions here to start going through. I'll start back with you, Wakamatsu-san. I mentioned we have a number of companies working on cellular senescence. And so the question that came in is really around, how do you see drugs of aging being brought to market? And let me start with that first part of the question, because obviously it's a very long clinical trial if you do it in the way that you might assume for an aging-related drug, or maybe not. It would be great to hear how ONO thinks about bringing cellular senescent technologies forward.
Okay. So far, we do not aim to extend lifespan, just age-related disorder. So it is often said that aging is process and senescence is condition. We consider some senescent cells as bad guy, and because these cells are involved in many types of diseases, and we are investigating how we can modulate them.
It's somewhat related, at least on the business side, is what's a minimum population size for an orphan indication? How big does the opportunity need to be for ONO to take a look at it? Or conversely, how small can you go? Especially as was mentioned around indication expansion. Are there small orphan indications that would be too small to be an ultimate market, but may serve as a beachhead?
So we have no guidelines to patient number. At first, we measured medical impact, how we can change the patient life with our compound based on our biology, and also we always thinking about indication expansion based on pathophysiological mechanism. So we do not aim to very specific disease. We always thinking expansion based on the mechanism.
I see. So if it's a small initial patient population, but there's a potential for expansion, it may be something that ONO would consider.
Yep.
Great. The next question here is really about, I think, a really good one about sort of fundamental early innovation and partnering. It relates to a company that has an interesting target, but maybe not any chemical matter yet. Is that something that ONO can engage with? And if so, what sort of data package is needed? How validated does the target need to be?
Yeah, I'd like to take this question. So we'd like to see a human-based evidence. That is a basic starting point to tackle that drug, to start the drug discovery. And the important thing is that technology and they can develop some product. So that 2 point is very important for us, I think.
I see.
So I'd like to ask one point. So that from the point of the oncology, so that the concept is quite important. So we'd like to have the new concept, the biology. So that is quite important. So that after that we are quite flexible. So that to collaborate the style. So that from the scratch that to validate that target together or something. So that the concept is quite important. I think.
How important, this is a very general question, but how important is novel biology, novel mechanism of action, or if something's a bit more derivative, are both of those okay? Or at the earliest stages, are you really looking for something that's novel?
Yeah, novel is quite important, and especially in the oncology, it's quite a high competitive area. So that we'd like to take the another things, the different way from the other company. So the concept is quite important, and background biology is also important.
Great, thank you. Another question here. You touched in introductions. You touched on different modalities of interest. The question here is around exosomes. Is that a modality that ONO has looked at or considered or would consider?
Yeah, I'd like to explain that exosome. So everybody looking for the exosome as a liquid biopsy sample, and people would like to see that is as a delivery technology. Both aspect is very interesting for us.
Very good.
So
yeah, please.
Regarding delivery technology, so we are also looking at the delivery technology for the nucleic acid. So yeah, that is also we are looking at.
Oh, very good. Yeah, it's good to know that it sounds like very little barriers to modality for ONO. Another question here is actually about getting in touch with ONO Ventures. I think certainly after this webinar, there's going to be questions that we don't get to, or people may think of questions later on. So I would just say now, if anyone on this webinar wants to get in touch with ONO or any of the panelists, please just direct those requests to me or anyone on the MBC BioLabs team, and we'll get those through. As was mentioned, ONO has an office at 930 Britain, so it may even be possible to do face mask to face mask meetings at some point. Let me, if I could, another question came in here. Let me just ask a quick question that I really wanted to get to. I know I got to ask a couple of questions already, but I think this one's really important. And given that ONO has 300 years of success, what characteristics do you see in successful collaborations, in particular with ONO?
Yeah, that is important point is a connection between the researchers and trust and mutual trust is very important to generate a good result, a good goal, to lead to the good goal. So therefore, that is very important for us.
We sometimes call the team science. Each organization bring the different capability or mind into the one team, so that work together to proceed the project. So that kind of the collaborative, the mind is quite important. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would totally agree. And, an important, I think, aspect of being engaged with MBC BioLabs is the chance to really get to know teams, to establish that rapport, and, having a willingness to want to work together and make something work. This additional question that came in was around biologics in regenerative medicine. It may have been in the introductions really talking about interest in small molecules. Are biologics something that would be in scope for regenerative medicine for ONO?
So
yes, please.
yes. In the future, so regenerative medicine is also our in focus. So also proteins and biologics to achieve the regeneration is our focus. So maybe Wakama-san have another words for this question.
Again, so the medical impact and the innovation and for the patient life, and so regenerative medicine is very attractive for us to promote stemness, and also some changing, modulating inhibition to the differentiated cells. So we are very interested in it.
Okay, thank you. When I was doing my background research on ONO as part of our initial partnership discussions, I noticed something that ONO has a philosophy around compound-orient approach to drug discovery. I'm wondering if you could tell us what that is and what are the advantages of it.
Yeah, that is very interesting question. So based on our company philosophy, Dr. Yamamoto showed us our company history about the prostaglandin. So, and Tani-san said that prostaglandin is very important, our core technologies. So when we start the compound screening, we will confirm the compound activity against the family proteins, like prostaglandin receptors families. So then we can use these assays and easily expand the research activity using these selectivity assays. So therefore, based on this strategy, we would like to expand and maximize our company's asset to the broad areas.
I see. So there's yes, there was another question. I'm not sure I quite got to it before. Thank you. It's is ONO interested in cell therapies, for example, CAR T for oncology?
So yeah, we already established collaboration with Fate Therapeutics about the iPS-derived CAR T. So that we are still interested in another area as well. So the cell therapy is developing quite fastly. So and change the therapy drastically in the future. So yeah.
It's good to hear that essentially anything that's innovative and novel is within scope. That's good. A general question, if I could, just because times have changed quite a lot, technology has changed. How does ONO see the changes in how we diagnose and understand health and wellness? How is that shaping how we treat disease?
Yeah. So digital transformation is a very growing area and draw our attention as well. As you know, Japan is well known as a country of longer life expectancy, but the issue might be how we could extend healthy lifespan. Previously, I mentioned currently we do not aim to extend lifespan. However, next coming technology should be predicting diseases and slowing aging. In addition, not only physical health, but also mental health should be considered in the future.
Yeah, it's a great point. We often think of the body or pathologies of the mind, but mental health generally is certainly an area that the current pandemic has brought into the light as being an area that needs additional therapies.
Please let me take this question as well. So, various technologies such as AI and machine learning and analytical technology is rapidly advancing. So, the research for biomarkers useful for treatment, diagnosis, and individualization of the treatment for diseases have been progressed to give an appropriate treatment to an appropriate patient. So this trend is expected to be continued more and more. So I think that effort for prevention of diseases will be further advanced in the near future.
Yeah, thank you for that. I did see in the introductions an emphasis on brain imaging and genetics. I'm assuming that's with a goal towards that type of patient targeting. There was a question here given, it says, would ONO consider age-related sarcopenias a reasonable area of interest?
Yes, we are very interested in sarcopenia. But personally, I think it's very difficult to evaluate the sarcopenia condition in clinical.
Great. Well, we have just a few minutes left before a special announcement from ONO. There was a quick question that came in about people who weren't able to attend today but wanted to see this webinar. And yes, it is being recorded. So others will be able to watch this later. I just wanted to ask, given Opdivo and the collaboration that led to Opdivo, could someone just tell us about how the collaboration with Medarex came to be? How did it come to pass? It's such a great story, and I think one that we'd like to help you repeat if we could.
I'm going to take this answer. So at that time, ONO did not focus on the cancer research, and I also had that was very, very, very challenging for ONO to continue developing drugs based on the antibody drug discovery. So which ONO had no experience with antibody drug discovery. So moreover, a mechanism of tumor immunity activation was not common at that time. So with so many skeptics about the tumor immunity, we had a hard time for finding development partner. But fortunately, we was able to very good collaborative partner, Medarex. That is the story.
Thank you so much. I think we covered a lot of ground in this hour. I'll thank the panelists now, and I'd like to hand the floor over to Aquino-san, who has a special announcement for us.
You are on mute.
Yes, I got it. Thank you for it. I'm Tomotaka Okino. I'm an investment director of ONO Venture Investment, and I'm announcing a new ONO Golden Ticket event. So, sorry. Just one, please. I should skip to those slides and now showing this summary. Okay. Through that event, one promising startup company will win the award, which is 1 year free lab space at MBC BioLabs. And also the company can access to the shared amenity and instrument and also services from the MBC BioLabs. that is a great advantage, not only saving money, but also access to their knowledge and expertise to grow the startup companies. And also, ONO are pleased to be in a close tie with that winner company. So the company can ask for us what kind of variety of the questions and advices from the pharmaceutical point of view. To win the award, the criteria is that the company should have the great emerging innovative ideas in the field of the life science. We are expecting that the idea could have the synergy with the ONO current and also future R&D activities. You have a lot about our strategies today, and if you learn more, please visit our website www.onopharma.com. The current schedule is that the first non-confidential application should be submitted by May 7th. That's fixed. After that, our team will review the application to select the finalists. The finalists make a presentation at the end of June, and we will announce the winner the next day of the pitch day. The detail will be seen in MBC BioLabs April newsletter and also their website soon. We are looking forward to having your applications. Now I hand over to Robert.
Akino-san, thank you so much. We are thrilled that ONO will be hosting their first golden ticket competition with us, one of many to come. It's wonderful that we can provide a lab bench to the entrepreneur through your support, and then equally valuable is the connection to ONO and the resources. These type of golden tickets have been catalytic for other companies to get started and then bring in the external resources and validation from a large pharma. I see that we didn't quite get to all the questions. As I said, we'll be here to receive any additional questions or follow-up that people have. I'd love to thank all of the speakers from ONO Pharmaceutical today. And again, welcome ONO as a partner with us, and thank you for your support. And thank you to all of you that joined today. We'll have this recording available to others if they'd like to see it as well. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you very much.